What's up, everybody? Welcome to this very special episode of True Crime and Cocktails. I'm your host, Christy Oxborrow, and today I'll be guiding you through something that we call Taste of Patreon. What does that mean? I'm so glad you asked. This episode will contain not one, but two episodes from our Patreon catalog. Over at patreon.com/truecrimeandcocktails, we have all kinds of fun stuff, including polls for future episodes for the main feed, a monthly live brunch, and 4 bonus episodes a month, which can include anything from bits of true crime to stories from our personal lives and even games. And sometimes, I don't know, off the top of my head, a 7-episode long detailed discussion about season 1 of Heated Rivalry. Overall, it's just me and my best gal and our pure chucklehead banter. Starting us off today is a last call episode that we did back in August 2022. There's true crime, there's Blanche, and best of all, there's a delightfully buzzed Lauren Ash.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to this last call episode of True Crime and Cocktails. We're so glad that you're here. As always, I am your host, Lauren Ash, and as always, I am joined by my co-hostess with the mostess, Christy Oxborrow. How you doing?
I'm doing great because you're doing great.
Here's what's up. I started laughing because I have had some alcohols, but I'm still standing. Yeah. Here's what happened. So a lot of people watch these episodes on YouTube.
Yeah.
And so typically when I start the episode, I look right in the camera. I look right down the barrel and I say, hello, how are you? What's your name? How you been?
Yeah.
And this time I clicked record and then instead I just looked where it says recording and I said, what's up, everybody? And then it wasn't until I realized, I was like, oh, you're intoxicated. But the good news is I told Christy I drank 4 high noons. And on the 4th one, I said, listen, good news. This is the last high noon in the house. So I'm done. It's over. You don't have to worry about me.
We're moving on to Kimmy C.
5.
There it is. Yep.
Woo!
Yeah. Good for you.
Listen.
I mean, look, I would have, but I have a day tomorrow and I need to be physically well.
I had a day today not in a bad way, but these are like half blowing off steam and half celebration. And I can't talk about why yet, publicly or even in the circle of trust. So anyway, it's also that where it's like my heart was racing. And so now I was like, have some drinks. It'll make your heart slow. And then what I've learned is that it hasn't, but we're good.
Sure. It doesn't slow the heart, but it gives you a good reason why the heart is losing its mind. And you're like, it gives you a nice distraction either way.
Right. Doesn't slow the heart, but definitely ups the farts. That's the energy that I'm bringing.
Look, I don't even think I needed to prepare anything. I think we're in a good place either way where we are.
Amen, sister friend. But listen, we did just finish recording the Rennie Joe's. I almost said Josie. That's not it. It's written everywhere on my page. The Rennie Joe's episode of the show. Confounding case. But I know that you have some leftover things from last week's episode of the show. Is that correct?
I do. Because last week, I don't even know if we recorded one. Did we? There was a week. It doesn't matter. But there was a week within the last month that we recorded an episode and didn't do a last call after because I think we were on a time crunch or something.
It was the Monica, not Monica Lewinsky, Lorena Bobbitt.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
There's a connection between the two, and I'm not going to get into that because it feels crass. But of course, it was that one that we skipped. So then you had a little bit more from that one for after the
then I pushed it to the next one, and then the next one apparently I've pushed to now because I that's where I'm at.
Well, listen, I'm also pushing things. So you know what though, this makes up for the last boozy brunch. Because the last boozy brunch, I had a thing afterwards, and it was one of the very, very rare occurrences where Christy is drunker than me. It's rare.
Yeah.
I think it happens
Yeah.
maybe 2 to 3 times a year, if that, since we've
Yeah.
started doing this show.
Definitely
Um,
hootenanny, and then after
Hootenannies,
that, it's like maybe 1 or 2, yeah.
maybe 1 or 2, and that's a joy for me, you know? It's always nice to not be the drunkest in the room, and it's rare.
Look, I'm gonna say it. Uh, any of our, dear Schmammered patrons, who witnessed that brunch,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I I went into it with like I've been so busy and I have so many things to do. I'm just gonna get slammed and hope for the best because I haven't been drinking sometimes at all on the brunches lately. Sometimes it's very little, but this I was like, I'm just gonna go for it. Whatever. My kids were visiting grandma. So I was also like, it doesn't matter if I stumble out of this room. Like then I don't then I feel better as a mother that
Yeah.
my children aren't witnessing that. Um, so I'm like, it'll be great. So I'm like, I can get like crazy. And then like I commented to my husband about like I'm gonna be drinking and he's like, okay. And I was like, you know what, the kids aren't here. You could also drink if you want while you're partaking in the brunch. Um and I'm like, well, I don't know. I'll have to come out midway through because I didn't set up an ice bucket or anything. And he was like, well, let me know and I can bring you drinks. And at one point he snuck in here to ask me a question. And I was like, hey, can you another drink? And then I wrote a note, which I think you'll love. I've saved because I plan on using it at the next brunch. The note of, babe,
This be
can this be our signal? Uh, because we're usually talking to somebody and I can't openly be like, hey, babe. Although I did honestly, truly plan at a moment where we weren't talking for me to just go, "Ah," and then be like, oh, sorry. That was for my husband. That's our signal. But then I'm like, I can't keep that up.
Yeah.
Uh, but I will say this pan Pizza Hut pizza was the right move.
Told
The
ya.
bottom was the grease I needed, the
Mhm.
crispy, beautiful grease that I wanted. It's exactly what I remember. Pillowy, pillowy crust. And I'm going to say it. I ate 6 pieces of that to the point where my husband went to put the pizzas away, opened the box, and the look on his face of, wow. Like he didn't say anything out loud, but you could see it. And I was still drunk by this point, and I looked over and I went, "I saw that." And he's like, "I didn't say a thing. I didn't say a thing." And I'm like, "Yeah, but you were thinking it." He's like, "I was impressed. I just didn't expect it." I'm like, I did make multiple trips, and honestly, I could have just finished it off because I was like, this is where I wanna be. I just wanna
Oh, the classic pan is the way to go.
yeah. Oh, it was the right move because that became a whole thing of what crust do you want? And I'm like, I haven't ordered from there in years. I don't know what crust there is. But yeah, I think the last few times I've ordered from there, it's been stuffed crust. And I'm like, oh no, I want that classic pan. So now I've learned that. And now I've learned I can almost devour an entire medium pizza on my own.
That's not wrong.
And I look forward to the day I do it again. And I'm already planning the moment when he's like, what do you, we should do dinner or we should do lunch today. And I go, can we do pizza? Because I want Pizza Hut again. I want that. I also went classic Canadian. I usually
Oh,
do
classic.
I usually do a vegetarian pizza. That tends to be my thing. Sometimes I do an all dressed, but vegetarian tends to be my thing because I like that it's not as oily.
Same.
But I've been getting into a Canadian lately, and the Canadian on a Pizza Hut with the pan. Oh, my mouth is just
First thing,
watering.
you said
Yeah,
it was the grease that I want, and then I
yeah.
thought, why has there never been a commercial that's, "You're the grease that I want. You're the grease I want." Ooh, ooh. Hut. Come on. That is writing itself.
What I love is when we get to a point where we talk in jingles that don't exist.
Yep. And for those who don't
Yeah,
know, a Canadian pizza is
yeah.
pepperoni, bacon, and mushrooms, correct?
I do believe so, yes.
Yeah, delicious.
Oh, it's
Uh,
so good. So
Here's a
good.
question for
Yeah,
you. And
Yeah.
I'm going to get really hard hitting.
Oh,
Okay.
no. Okay. Okay.
When is the last time
Yeah.
you had a Pizza Hut breadstick?
Oh, wow. Um, I guarantee the year started with 19.
Because I want you to know
Yeah.
that, as I think I mentioned at some point on the brunch or at some point in an episode, my parents met at Pizza Hut. So we
Sure.
used to eat a lot of Pizza Hut when I was in high school. A lot,
Yeah.
a lot. And my favorite thing on the menu is the breadsticks because it's just that delicious pan crust with a bunch of garlic and butter and parm, and then you dip it in the marinara, and my mouth is watering. That's the grease that I want. That's the grease that I want. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Hut.
First of all, thank you for Hut, like the turn to the side. I love it all. I've now written Pizza Hut breadsticks. And so now I won't feel bad when he's like, hey, what do you want to do for lunch? And I go, Pizza Hut. And he's like, I don't want to do pizza again. And I go, oh, I just want the breadsticks. Oh, forget lunch. How about just a movie snack? Oh,
What I used to do in high school,
yeah.
one of my go-to orders was a side salad and the breadsticks because I was trying to make it seem like I was,
Of course.
I'd have 3 bites of the salad. The point is,
It's all about balance.
mhm,
Oh, I
mhm,
get that. I
mhm.
love that this started with like a, hey, we've got some true crime for you, and has turned into, well, this is my favorite thing from Pizza Hut. And then like describing in great detail. And I,
Well, let's get honest. You did murder that pizza.
yeah, I did. Oh, I did. Usually I'm like, okay, I could do half and then I save the half for leftovers. But if that pizza had been in my living room, I would have finished it on the spot. And there was a part of me that was like, I would like a leftover. I want to wake up tomorrow morning and eat more pizza. But I could see me finishing one off because the next day I felt great.
Well,
I
oh,
put so much of that hut
great.
in my body that I did not I wasn't hungover.
It
And
works.
it was great. It was
There is a
great.
science to it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was the right call. And then this shows how what a demanding wife I am. I did request that my husband not drink as much as me so that he could drive me to 7-Eleven
Mhm.
so I could have a Slurpee to go with it and a movie after. Um, I had told him earlier in the day, like, oh, I'm just going to want a Slurpee. And then I was later, that's all I want to relax. And then I was like, oh, wait. I'm also just know, like, I'm going to get like really drunk at the brunch. So just a heads up on that. And he's like, oh, okay. And I was like, oh, yeah. I'm like, actually, kids aren't here. You could get drunk too if you want. And he's like, well, you want that Slurpee. And I was like, you could have a few first. And then we'll give you some time to sober up. So yeah, the things I purchased at 7-Eleven, like, I need these peanut butter cups. Oh, I love the junior caramels. And like just my arms are full of things that I'm like, oh, I didn't need that after that much pizza.
It's not yours to judge.
No,
It's just not.
no.
What was the movie?
Oh God. You'll love this. I can check the list
Oh, well,
because
didn't
yeah.
resonate is what I'm hearing. Did not resonate.
Not necessarily. I was not sober. What day did we do that brunch? On the 30th?
Sunday, Saturday, Saturday.
Saturday? Was that the 30th?
I
Because
believe so.
Sunday was the 31st, right?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, that movie was garbage.
Oh,
It was my husband's pick. Not that that those two things don't correlate, but yeah, I'll call it out like it is. It's from this year, I think. It's called Crimes of the Future. It's
oh,
it's David Cronenberg.
oh.
It's Viggo Mortensen. Oh, and the girl who was in the newest James Bond. I don't remember her name. I don't know. the point is, it was horrific,
It
and
was a crime.
the whole thing of it is basically it's set in the future, like far distant future, where it's like surgery is the new sex. Mhm.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. Every once in a while, we would just go like, "Oh, that's weird. This thing looks very similar to something from Existence." And then we find out, oh, because that's also David Cronenberg.
Yes.
And these are the two original things that he's written. He apparently wrote this particular movie over a decade ago, and it took them this long to get it made for whatever reason. But yeah, it was bad. Like so much of it was bad. Scott Speedman was in it, which was great,
Hot.
but it was
Sorry.
bad. Like there, the whole time, I just repeatedly told him, like, this is so bad. I am very unhappy. So you're right, it didn't resonate. And why would it? Because it was that is what you want to know my picks that bookended that pick?
Yep.
I did the 3 Men and a Baby, 3 Men and a Little Lady series.
Oh, and that's a classic.
Oh, it's so good. And like the amount of time I spend talking about Tom Selleck in just like what a dreamboat that man was, and then spending an hour yelling about my dislike of Sylvia
Of
in
course.
both movies. I don't like
Yeah.
any of the choices she makes. And I'm just upset about it. But the point is, what a beautiful series. I love it so much. The very awkward school woman from the second movie is one of my favorite things in the world because she's that kind of character that's so awkward and so like uncomfortable, but has the confidence level of like a God, Victoria's Secret model.
Yeah.
Like there's like she was told that or not Ted Danson, Tom Selleck was hitting on her, and she was like, oh, okay, I'm ready for this. And then Tom Selleck is later tells her like, I'm actually not interested in you. And she's like, oh, okay. And he's like, you're a very attractive woman. She goes, oh, I know. And there's something about the character that's super awkward, but so confident that I love so much. And my comment to my husband was that character had to walk so that Miranda Hart could run.
It's true.
And I stand by it because, again, Miranda is one of my favorite rewatches because, God, that show is so funny. So funny on so many levels. But
There's a
anyhow.
TikTok. I don't know if you've seen this, and it's a man, and all he's done is put up a picture of a shirtless Tom Selleck in his prime. We're talking
Oh,
80s Selleck.
oh,
And this
yeah.
man goes, women don't want this. No woman wants this anymore. Like, this isn't. And I was like, stand down. First of all, don't tell us what we want. You
No,
don't know. You don't
no.
know, mediocre, cis, straight, white man. That's the
Mm,
first thing.
yeah.
Second of all, how dare you? He's timeless.
Yeah.
That man is timeless. And his whole thing was that it was too much chest hair. Get out of town.
If Tom
Go suck
Selleck
an egg.
in his prime
Yep.
now
Yep.
in those shorts,
Yep.
get out of town.
Get out of
Come on. Oh,
here.
yeah. Oh, he would be all the rage. Like he'd be the Chrissy Evs we're talking about all the time.
Thank you very much.
We'd be like that. Did you see the Tommy Cell? No, that's
I like it. I'm writing down Tommy Sell. But here's what I'm going to say.
yeah.
And I don't know where you land on this, but like
Oh,
I've been around the block many times. And I've tasted from all of the different pots of honey.
oh, this is getting dangerous.
Wait, this is going somewhere.
Yeah,
But for me, like I sometimes like a hairy chest doesn't bother me.
sure,
Sometimes it's nice.
sure.
Where I run into issue,
Oh boy,
and this is not a judgment, but there
everybody
is,
has what they like.
of course, but there was an ex of mine. And when I say it was like he was wearing a full sweater,
Oh,
and again, the chest, it's not really as much of an issue for me, but it's when it's the shoulders back. And here's what I'll say. Still, to each his own. There are people who are
Sure.
into that very much, and I think for the with a different person, it may not have bothered me. But I think what it was that this man expected me to groom him.
Oh
And
boy.
and for me, it's like I have a lot of things I'm doing in the day. I'm a busy lady. At that time, I
Yeah.
was pulling 16-hour days sometimes on my show,
Yeah.
and I don't want to come home and have
Yeah.
to clip you like a dog. You know what I mean? Like, can I have a break? I'm also
Mm.
cleaning the house. I'm also cooking for you. Can I not have to shave 25% of you, please? Can I
Mm.
draw one line? That was my question, you know?
Yes. Oh God, yes. Yeah. I don't know. I usually am like a preferred little hair
Sure.
because hairy isn't really my thing, but an 80s Tom Selleck, yes, ma'am.
I think it's also because he let it grow, like it was soft. And I think that there's this movement now, which is like get rid
Sure.
of all the body hair. So then it's like half growing in or whatever. And then it's scratchy. It's like
Oh,
sandpaper, which you know
sure.
what I mean? I'm like, to me, let it grow. And to that, I also say at that point, let the back hair grow too. Because at this point, I'm thinking that it would probably have been more appealing to me for a soft back hair than it would to have been this hack job if he was doing it on his own. Or the other thing was is that we never got to the skin. It was just so thick, like, there was no like, it was always a
Mhm.
trim. The trim was the best you could ask for, and God bless, but I think for me, honestly, it
Mhm.
was I think I resented doing it, and then that became the turn off. You
Yes.
know what I mean?
There it is. Yeah. Yeah, oh, I get that. It's a lot to ask of a partner,
Isn't it?
especially when they've got so many other things going on and
Yeah, when the partner's being the breadwinner and also cleaning the house and also cooking the meals, can you take care of your back hair?
yeah,
Or not, or don't. I never asked him to do anything about his body hair. That's the thing. That's the thing.
it was his own hang up.
Yes. And to
Mm.
that I say, then hire someone, go somewhere. Please don't put that on my plate.
Oh,
Please.
yes. They have people who do this for a living,
For a living.
especially in the area you're in. I'm sure there's a lot in the
They'll
Los Angeles area.
they'll come to your house.
Oh, see, there you go.
Not even for that much of a high price point. You can get somebody come to your house. You get somebody come to your house and do almost anything to you. That sounded bad, but I mean it in a good way. I mean it in a good way, you know what
But
I mean? You can get
accurate.
yeah, you can get a spray tan, you can get a wax, you can get almost anything. They'll come to your home, massage, whatever you need, acupuncture.
Oh, I don't know if I could do acupuncture.
I love it.
Do ya?
I do. They're thinner than normal needles. I know it's creepy sounding, but it doesn't feel the same.
Okay.
It doesn't
Okay.
feel like a needle, like what our perception of needles feels like, if that makes any sense.
Right. I'm gonna let that be your experience.
Totally. No problem.
Yeah. Yeah, the idea just yeah. I mean, have I already looked up a tattoo place in Regina that I'm looking at getting not 1, but 2 different tattoos? Yeah, because that's different to me.
And I was just gonna say, if you can do a tattoo needle, like this is a hair compared to that. It's a whisk. Sometimes they go in and you don't even feel them.
Oh
I've had
god,
them.
which means sometimes they go in and you do. See? She's
Yes,
focusing
but
on the
it's
negative.
but it's also about your body response as opposed to the feeling of the needle, if that makes any
Mhm.
sense. The needle always feels the same going in, which is usually like nothing. This is my experience.
Sure.
It's if she puts it in a place in your body that is holding something for some reason, then
Sure.
the place in your body will react, but it's less about the feeling of the needle and it's more about like, "Ooh, like what's going on there?"
Oh, fuck. This is gonna turn into me doing a thing of acupuncture on an episode.
Jade eggs too. Stick it in my boo.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
I like where you're going with that.
I
I
do too.
like I like where you're trying to go with that. I like stick it in my boo. I like so much of what's happening. I like that you asked me well over 20 minutes ago
Yep.
if I had anything. I said yes, and now we're talking about acupuncture.
Listen, let's get into what you got then in your notes.
Well, look, I'll say it. It's not a lot, but afterwards I did make a list
Great.
because you know I love a list. So,
I love that you love it. And I love it for me.
well, it's just a love fest for you and your boo at this point. Uh yes, we've already said it feels like forever ago, but we said this is some extra from the Missing Kentucky episode. That show I specifically focused on missing cases that were unsolved where no one has been found. Was where I was leading. But of
Yeah.
course, while I found that, I came across cases of missing people who had been found, and I was fascinated by these. So here we go.
Let's do it.
I've got 3 for you. Number 1, on August 15th, 1973, the body of Gerald A. Johnson was found by 2 water skiers in the Ohio River near Petersburg, Kentucky. Gerald was found tied to a 25-pound anchor with multiple gunshot wounds to his chest.
Oh, wow.
He was 32 at the time of his disappearance, and from the best I can tell, he wasn't missing very long before he was found. Gerald was from Cleveland, Ohio, and worked as a debt collector for the mob.
There it is.
He also spent time at the prison in LaGrange for shooting multiple people. Police believe Gerald was responsible for a shooting that occurred in Cleveland shortly before he disappeared. The victim on that shooting survived, so detectives believe Gerald was killed for screwing up a job and leaving a witness alive. No murder weapon was ever found, and probably never will be, because investigators say the type of gun used to kill Gerald was very common for their area. There was also little evidence found, but the lead detective stated there was evidence to suggest that whoever was responsible for Gerald's death was in a hurry to get rid of the body. I don't know necessarily what evidence he had, but he didn't say. And again, this is from 1973.
Wow.
So I don't know how hard they're working on it. Number 2, Kenneth Wayne Waters was born July 13th, 1961. He was last seen leaving his mother's house on the 300 block of South 42nd Street in Louisville, Kentucky on November 29th, 1991. He was reported missing 3 days later. Kenneth was 30 years old at the time and described as an African-American male, 6 feet tall, 155 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. At some point in 1992, a body was recovered from the Ohio River near Evans Landing in Harrison County, Indiana, which is like 30 miles or about 48 kilometers from Louisville. At the time, the remains could not be identified, and the John Doe was buried in Cedar Hills Cemetery. In July 2020, John Doe's remains were exhumed and the DNA was compared to Kenneth Waters' mother, and the results were that it is a 99.9999% probability that John Doe was in fact Kenneth Waters.
Oh, wow.
The detective who took over Kenneth's cold case said he received the file. It contained only a news article from 1997 and an order to exhume the body of John Doe in 2012.
Wow.
For one thing, I'm glad the family was finally given some sort of closure after nearly 30 years. But to me, it just adds to their grief to know that Kenneth was found in 1992 and his family didn't know for decades. Then there's the fact that Kenneth's disappearance was clearly never investigated in any way, as the file had no notes of any kind. And someone requested to exhume the body in 2012 to test it for DNA, and yet it took another decade before that actually happened. The original investigators failed Kenneth, and they failed his family.
They did.
No cause of death has ever been released. Our third and final one, Paige Valissa Johnson was born August 29th, 1993. She was last seen September 23rd, 2010 in Covington, Kentucky. She planned to go to a house party with 22-year-old Jacob Bumpus. Jacob picked Paige up at her mother's house, and she accidentally left her phone behind. When Paige didn't return the next day, her family reported her missing, but investigators believe Paige was just a runaway, off partying somewhere. Paige was just 17 at the time of her disappearance. She was described as a Caucasian female, 5'1", 110 pounds, with light brown hair and brown eyes. Also, when Paige went out, it was her first time out in a long time, as she was the mother to a 2-year-old daughter.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but yet a runaway, huh? Again, that drives me insane.
I know.
Multiple friends claim to have seen Paige passed out at the party and Jacob carry her out. Jacob told Paige's family that he gave Paige a few beers before dropping her off at 15th Street and Scott Street around 1 a.m., which is interesting since Paige lived about 15 minutes away from there. So if you did drop her off, Jacob, why did you drop her off so far from home in the middle of the night? And according to police, Jacob's phone never pinged in that area at that time, so clearly he's lying. Not surprisingly, Jacob continued with the sketchy behavior after being interviewed by Paige's family, not the police, because Paige's family were the first people to actually try and investigate this case. Jacob immediately hired a lawyer and then refused to cooperate with police. He also didn't participate in any searches for Paige. Police eventually realized that Paige wasn't a runaway and started to do their actual jobs. They checked Jacob's phone data and noticed that he had been sending Paige multiple messages leading up to her disappearance, but he hadn't sent a single one after she went missing. Between 4:15 and 4:30 a.m. on September 23rd, Jacob's phone pinged near East Fork Lake, about 25 miles or 43 kilometers east in Ohio. While in the area, Jacob posted a few Facebook status updates. One was about having insomnia. The other was about how much he loves fishing. Apparently, that was his first and last time posting on Facebook. Investigators searched a certain radius of East Fork Lake, but nothing was found. Paige's family filed a civil suit for wrongful death against Jacob, who pleaded the fifth in court and refused to take a polygraph. On March 22nd, 2020, a husband and wife out deer hunting near East Fork Lake found a burned human skull just 2 miles or 3.2 kilometers from the initial search radius, and just 1 mile from where Jacob's phone had pinged. To that I say, what was your search radius? Why wouldn't you have done the radius from where his phone pinged? Like, I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Dental records confirmed that the remains belonged to Paige Johnson. Unfortunately, police weren't able to get any conclusive evidence as Paige's remains were too decomposed, so they couldn't charge Jacob with murder. Instead, he was charged with abuse of a corpse and tampering with evidence. In November 2010, Jacob was arrested for a parole violation from a previous theft conviction. Apparently, after the conviction, he wasn't allowed to have alcohol, but was found with some in his house, and he was sent to prison and released in 2012. There have been multiple hearings in late 2021 and early 2022, but nothing has been spoken about the case publicly since. But the similarities to Paige and Brooklyn Farthing's case, which I mentioned in the Missing Kentucky episode, it's wild. It was a 17 or 18-year-old girl last seen at a party with a 22 or 23-year-old guy who claims the girl disappeared on her own. The guys are both sketchy and then both got arrested later on unrelated charges. So that didn't get as dark as I have, especially in that that last call, which, I mean, they're going to find out tomorrow. It's tomorrow for us, but it's not tomorrow for you. But that doesn't mean I didn't bring a list. So for the section I like to call the light, again, it's the goal I've put on myself of find something that somehow relates to what I was talking about, that gives a fun list that just brings us joy. So we're talking Kentucky. So, of course, you're going to have Christy's top 10 favorite names of Kentucky Derby winners.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Number 10, behave yourself.
Yes.
Number 9, Hoop Jr. Hoop wouldn't have got me. Junior did.
Yep.
Number 8, Sonny's Halo. Number 7, Mind That Bird. Number 6, Thunder Gulch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Number 5, Tim Tam.
Oh,
Number 4, Go for Gin.
that's a clear
Yeah.
message.
Yeah, this one just outright makes me laugh. Number 3, Regret. That feels
Oh,
quite an interesting one. Number 2, Burgoo King. So not Burger King, Burgoo
Burgoo.
King.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, Smarty Jones. And I have one more. The top 10 names of Kentucky Derby winners that can also be used to describe me.
Oh, I love that.
Number 10, Spend a Buck. Number 9, Silver Charm.
Yep.
Just losing my mind now. Number 8, Unbridled.
Yes.
Number 7, Gallant Fox.
Ooh.
Number 6, I'll have another. Number 5, Foolish Pleasure.
I like that.
Number 4, Charismatic.
Yes.
Number 3, Bubbling Over. Number 2, Always Dreaming. And number 1, Northern Dancer.
Oh, which connects to the tarot reading we did last week.
Yeah.
I feel like Behave Yourself, Regret, and Smarty Jones really could also be for me. You know what I mean?
Oh, look, if you think I didn't like gin, so I could be Go for Gin. Yeah. But Mind That Bird. Like, I bless whoever does the names of Kentucky Derby horses. Because some of them you're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then, oh yeah, that makes sense because that's that one's kid. Sure, sure. But some of them, it's like, I don't know where you were going with that, but I love it.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
What a joy. What a joy.
Whimsy.
Yes.
True whimsy.
Yeah. Oh, see? Right there, you're naming horses.
True whimsy. Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Did you have any other thoughts about what you may name your own Kentucky Derby horse?
Oh, wow. Oh, God. Oh, God, this is such a fun activity.
I got one.
Yeah.
Beaver Patrol.
Yeah, I like that.
For Canada and for like, looking for ladies, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I can already picture how Beaver Patrol walks.
Yeah. Here's another
Real
one for you.
cocky walk. Yeah.
Just to squeeze a lemon.
Yeah. Well, look, at the rate I'm going, I would have Bag of Worms
Oh, of course.
and Thorn in My Paw.
Thorn in my paw. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I'm writing all
Blanket
these
Girl. Oh, God.
True whimsy is probably my favorite of all.
True whimsy is such a beautiful thing to come out.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that a lot.
I also like that when I wrote these down, I didn't write just a squeeze of lemon. I wrote just a squeeze o lemon.
Of course. Of course.
I mean, what a joke. What a joke.
Look, I think it's one of the funnest things to just, I know that they don't sit in a room and just come up with names. I know everybody kind of does that on their own, but to me, what a joyous thing. Just a group of people sitting in a room and they're like, okay, let's start coming up with names for Derby horses.
Yep.
And then when they get stuck, they're like, we're going to write things in one column and another, and then we're going to combine one from each column. Like that sounds like something we'd
Oh,
get
yeah.
drunk enough to spend a night doing before we
Yeah.
realize we're wasting a lot of time.
Kind of like Mad Libs, where it's like you choose an
Oh,
adjective and a noun or whatever. So
yeah.
it'd be like pretty butthole.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That wouldn't be it. But Sharky's next to me, and
Of
it's
course.
miraculous he hasn't shown his butthole. So
Of course. Oh God. Oh
here's
God. We'd also have to have a jade egg.
oh yeah. I like that you're coming up with stuff that's like relevant to the show, and I'm just trying to think of anything random. For example, my
Of
latest
course.
one, Anchors Away.
Right. Where I mean it shows you're more creative. I'm like
Oh,
I'm sitting here going, oh, I don't know. Probably pan crust. Yeah.
oh,
Oh.
what about this?
Yeah.
Peter Pan crust.
Oh, I like that. I like two things combining into one.
Well, you'll love this. So this reminds me of like when we're trying to come up with Second City show titles.
Yeah.
It's always like, is it a pun? Is it something else?
Sure.
So, for example, one of the most popular show titles of a show I was in was called Facebook of Revelations. So, like Facebook
Right.
and Book of Revelations, right?
Right.
That was when Facebook first came out. It was very popular as a show title.
Sure.
But I was always someone who was pushing for usually something pretty batshit. Shocking.
Course.
I know.
Of course.
And my favorite of my own was Planet of the Grapes of Wrath of Khan.
uh-huh. Uh-huh.
That's a threefer. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
I like that.
three mashed up.
Oh,
you know?
I live for when there's two things combined into one.
Yeah.
It's my favorite form of dress. Let me explain.
Please.
Because I know it doesn't. I for example, I love shirts that have pictures on them that are multiple things combined into one.
Mhm.
There's one in particular that I would like to own. I have not ordered it yet, but I plan to. That looks like Mario Kart, but it's basically the cast of Jurassic Park in Jurassic Park vehicles, but they're drawn like the Mario Kart guys, and it's just so lovely. One of my recent Stranger Things shirts looks like the cover of Adventures in Babysitting, but it's Steve Harrington and the kids climbing down, which is very funny to me. And there's one, again, I need to order it, where it looks like Queen, like because you see the four of them, but it says Queens and it's the Golden Girls.
Oh, that's nice.
I know, right? I was like, I just love when you take two things and you put them together. That somehow gives me joy. I don't know what it is. I also love a pun, except for an egg pun.
Oh,
I draw for some reason. I draw the line at egg puns. Those I'm like, oh, grow up. But the but the others I'm fine with. But for some reason I'm just like, oh yeah.
I love that it's specifically eggs. That's
I know.
so random.
Well, I mean, with maybe just my first, I don't know. In one of my pregnancies, I was so turned off of eggs. The mere
That's
thought of
right.
it made me like physically ill, and to the point I couldn't eat eggs for years after. I just oh God, the thought. And so part of me wonders if that has broken in my brain where I'm just like, eggs, huh? They're not funny. Take eggs seriously. Like I wonder if that's it. I don't know.
Right. No yoking.
Fuck off. I knew I should have known the second that I said it that she would be like, ooh, oh well shit, now I'm gonna do as many egg jokes. Egg
No,
puns.
I just wanted to try one. I just had to test the waters. That's it. That's it. I'll draw the
Mhm.
line there.
No,
But wow, that's so
you can get away
specific.
with anything.
Well, bless
And
you.
I'm gonna be like, she's adorable.
Well, but I'm not
You
gonna
know?
push it. That's the other reason. You know what I mean? I'm like, I respect the boundary. I mean, I pushed it once and then I respectfully back away.
Oh, it's the most ridiculous thing probably about me. that I'm like, oh, I love puns, not eggs.
That is so
Like
specific.
it's a weird. Yeah, I don't even know what it is.
Huh. Huh.
Yeah,
Listen.
it's not like if somebody says one that I'll be like, well, I'm gonna cut a bitch now. Like, no. It's just like it won't get the reaction out of me that a pun might.
Right.
So I don't know. It's a weird. I always have to have some sort of hang up. And
Is
that's
this a
something
fake
to
hang up?
unpack.
It's a fake hang up. That was from What About Bob? I get it.
Yeah. This is just who we are.
Another horse name, fake hang up.
Hey. Oh, these, I mean, is it possible that you make a show that involves racehorses?
Coming up from behind, we got True Whimsy. True Whimsy coming up from behind True Whimsy. Just a squeeze of lemon. Just a squeeze of lemon is being covered. Oh my God! And from the behind, a bag of worms, and I'm coming down. A thorn in my paw. Thorn in my paw. It's gonna be throwing my anchors away.
Yeah, it was worth it for this moment. I would watch that show.
I just like that. That's the whole show. It's just me narrating a horse race that's not actually happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense to me.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. Oh my God, there's so many things like wheeling around in my drunk brain, but I'm losing all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I think, I hope our dear listeners, sometime when they're drinking with friends or not drinking, just hanging with friends, play the game. What would you name your Kentucky Derby horse?
Yeah. I do
Because
too.
I think if I'm given more time, I might. I think the fun ones are just the random ones. Like True
Yes.
Whimsy makes so much sense to me. Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the one I tried too hard to think of the ones related to the show. But then I'm also like, oh, they'll all just end up being named after shows that I watch. And it'll be like, well, here comes the cast of Friends. Oh, what's it called? No, it's literally the cast of Friends because she couldn't decide which one. Oh
Yeah.
God.
Listen,
Could
there's
I
no time
be
limit.
wearing any more clothes? Like that would
Yeah.
also be a name of one. See, again, I just want to use, but with a time limit. Oh. And then my favorite, then you have to try and draw it so that people can guess it.
I like this game already.
But I'm also like, how the heck do you draw Whimsy? Well, you draw Lauren Ash.
You try. You try. And good luck. Good luck capturing this. I don't know anymore.
Who can move and shake,
shake
like
this?
Yeah. I'm losing my mind. There's another one. I'm reaping all the benefits.
He's losing his mind.
Yeah.
And I reap all the benefits. Remember the curtains slowly
close.
Wedding Singer,
that
dear
movie
listeners.
holds up.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Have you watched it recently?
During the pandemic, when I was convinced I was going to do like every classic movie I could think of
course,
because I hadn't watched so many in so long, and it was just such a beautiful thing, and I miss that air mattress in my living room.
Yeah.
Just floating around. No one expects anything from you.
Yeah.
Just lay in the middle of your living room during the day, in the middle of the week, and be like, I'm gonna get through as many Honey, I Shrunk the Kids movies as possible.
How many are there?
There's Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Honey, I Blew Up the Baby, Honey, We Blew Up Ourselves. That might be it.
Is Rick Moranis in all of those pictures?
He's in at least the first two.
Huh.
I'm just going to type Honey into IMDb. Well, of course, Jessica Alba, understood. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It's Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. We didn't blow up ourselves. And Rick Moranis is in it.
Huh. I think they realized early on that it was like it's easier to do the shrunk down CGI than it is to do the blown up.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Oh god, yeah, I'm just okay, so Blew Up the Baby, yeah. Oh, there we go. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was 1989. Blew Up the Baby was 92.
Mm.
Oh god. And then Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves was 97. And then I think they were like, "Oh yeah, now's not the time. Let's let that go."
I think what it is that I'm sinking into this chair in a way that
Oh,
feels
yeah.
too casual. It's like you can't see my face anymore. Um,
Well, I
you
think
know,
this is what Patreon's for, right?
yeah, maybe. Maybe if I do
Maybe instead of 2022, it's Patreon, far too familiar.
far too familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I decided I had this set up because I had to do a it's like an online thing. It's like an online thing. I had to do an online thing today, and I was like,
Yes.
I should do it at the desk. And I've been toying with the idea of moving over to the desk so that I can take my podcasting gear off of my dining room table, which is what I've been doing
Sure.
for, almost 2 years. Anyway, and so this was the first go, and I like it, but this chair, I feel like I'm like, you know,
Oh.
I think I need a better desk chair.
Oh, that's a better plan than initially. I was like, "Well, yeah, you could always bring one from the dining room, but those are heavy chairs."
Heavy, heavy. I will say though,
Yeah.
Sharky really liked being like in the crack, like between where I end and the chair arm begins, and on
Sure.
the back here, which did feel nice. It felt like a little less
Yeah.
destructive than how he normally is, but
Sure.
that's shades of gray.
I
Shades of
mean,
gray coming on the back, coming on the back, right behind the shades of gray. It's Sharky's butthole. Sharky's butthole is overtaking shades of gray.
mhm.
Mhm.
Again, this writes itself as a radio play.
And are you going to be there with the coconuts making this sounds of the clip clops? The clip clops.
So much for clip clops. And yes,
Yeah.
yes, I'm gonna absolutely be there with the clicking coconuts for the clip claps. Click clacks, sorry.
Clip
And,
clops.
click clops, so sorry.
That's okay.
And I will also come in with the occasional, like, I'll say things like, "Yeehaw!" like, very quietly before I realize jockeys don't say that.
Well,
I've been to a few horse races in my day, like,
sure.
way back when I was quite young.
Mhm.
I don't know if it was legal for me to be there.
The
I'm sure
rules
it's
are very
legal. I think
hazy.
you're
Yeah.
allowed to be there, you just aren't allowed to bet, maybe is the
Which
rule.
feels again like, come on.
Yeah.
If you're there, you're probably complicit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, I was only there because my uncle owned a racehorse.
Really?
Yeah,
How did I never know? What was the name of his racehorse? Do you remember?
Acting
Ack. I'm
He
going
did
to
not
need
name it.
you to explain what that means. Aconop.
Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't believe he named it. He purchased the horse because I think it was one of those, like, he felt like this would be the move. Get in there, get the horse, drive it around to, you know, I don't know, competitions, races, whatever we're calling them. And then, like, he thought, like, this is gonna be the real winner, and then it just never was, and we went out there for vacation, and it was like, "Hey, you can come watch the horse race, it'll be great," and they pumped up to me, "If it wins, you can go stand in the winner's circle with it when it gets its picture taken with all its, like, flowers and everything," and I was so excited. Oh, yeah, it did not do well.
Yeah.
And I was, oh, I don't know, 10 to 12 maybe?
Wow, I thought you were gonna say younger than that.
I think there may have been another horse, but the only one I specifically remember is, yeah, Aconop. Don't ask me to spell it because I can't.
I
I
won't.
just specifically remember its name because I remember from my youth being like, "What is that?" And they were like, "Oh, that's Aconop." I'm like, "That doesn't make okay." Couldn't spell it for the life of me. If I go look like rummaging through my childhood things, I believe I have a book from the day we went to the races where it
Right.
showed like all the races and stuff like that. I'm fairly certain of it. But like I never got to meet the horse. I've never met a horse. Like I've never pet a horse in any way. I've never ridden one. I've never
Really?
actually no, I guess that's not true. I did ride one at a fair once
Huh.
when I was quite young. But other than that, yeah, I've never met a horse.
Wow.
Yeah, and half my family is like farmers and that kind of thing, although my grandparents did not have animals by the time I came around.
Right.
But yeah, I've known people who live on farms, but I've never met a horse.
I mean, I love horses. I feel like that's such a travesty.
Oh yeah, I'd love to meet one sometime. I think I would oh god, I don't think I could ride one. I don't know. I feel like it just watching me get onto a horse. I mean, oh god, that's a last call episode right there. Why is it always anything I think of where I'm like, "Oh, that would be horrifying to watch." Well, I guess we'll record it for the show.
Yeah, I do love
Yeah.
that that's like there's been a few things recently and she's been like, "It's good for the show." And I was like, "Wait a second. Are you sure?" What I like is that the show is just going to turn into Christy does things she doesn't think she'll like, starting with acupuncture and potentially riding a horse. I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds like a good show to me.
Yeah. And look, I'm gonna say this one, I'm gonna regret it because people are gonna be like, "Oh my god, what's wrong with her?" Many things, dear listeners, many things. Um, I've never had a professional massage, and I think I'd like to keep it that way.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to be partially nude or fully nude for that matter, in front of anyone.
But they don't
Um,
see you. They don't see
and
you.
I also just don't want somebody's hands on my body.
What if I told you it's transcendent?
Yeah, I've heard like people love it, that kind of thing, and I've got knots in my back that I'm like, "Oh yeah, I could see the benefit there." I've also got a lot of weird, awkward wiring back there. So if like just you touch the wrong spot, my body just almost like karate chop action, you know? You know what I mean? Like you touch one spot and I'm like, "Oh, no, I don't like that." Like I'm I'm convinced a wire is wrong back there.
That makes me feel like you need medical attention.
And
Here's the
my
thing.
biggest fear is that they'll be like the best thing you can do is have a massage. And I'm like, I don't want I don't want someone kneading the dough on my body. I don't.
Well, it doesn't really feel like that. But here's the thing I'll
Sure.
say. I don't like a man. I don't like a man to massage me at all.
Sure.
I only use women, uh,
Sure.
or have women, I guess is a better term. Um, and listen, I mean, they work with you if you have places that are no-goes. I mean, it's a there's a whole you do a whole conversation ahead of time. What's the
Sure.
boundaries, etc.
Sure.
But listen, I mean, I mean, also no need, no harm, no foul. But what I'm hearing is that on the show where you're trying everything you hate, which is apparently what we're doing, I just feel like a massage. It's like you're gonna walk away from that going like, "I'm so bad." Like maybe,
I mean,
maybe.
I need to believe that the whole thing will be at the end of each of these episodes of this show that doesn't exist
Hmm.
yet.
Yes.
Is going to be me coming away from it going, okay. And
Let me
then
put it
you
this way:
finding out that I've booked an appointment to do that very thing again later on or something.
there's different kinds of massage. There's
Sure.
shiatsu, for example, and I
Yeah.
used to get shiatsu massages, and you leave your clothes on. But here's the thing I'll say for that:
Yeah.
wildly painful. They are getting deep into the muscles. I don't
Yeah.
recommend that for you. I think you'd hate
Sure.
it. But a classic Swedish massage where it's all about the
Mhm.
relaxation, etc. For me, I mean, I've had hundreds probably of massages over the years
Sure.
because it's covered under my or was covered under my health insurance back in Canada. as an actor, because that's a part, you use your body, etc. What a
Sure.
concept. Down here, different story. But anyway, here's what I'll say.
Yeah.
I carry all of my tension in my butt. And there is truly nothing that I want more in a massage scenario than to have my butt massaged. It's not sexual. It's that it feels like the greatest release because it's where I keep all my tension. But it's one of those things where at the beginning, they'll ask you, like, is there any areas you want me to avoid? Is there anything you want me to focus on? This is the conversation you had.
Of course.
And of course, I try to cushion it because you don't want to lead with
Touch my butt.
My butt. Exactly.
Of course.
So I'm usually like, oh, shoulders, upper back, glutes, upper thighs, the glutes. And some of them will, but some of them won't. And that's their boundary. And I respect that.
Hey.
And I respect that.
Of course.
But when I get a masseuse who's willing to really get in there hard, it is a dream and a half. Because again, it doesn't feel sexual at all. It's just like, oh, it's the best. Okay. I think you might surprise yourself.
I think the whole concept of this show is going to be Christy tries things that literally everybody loves and she's somehow never done. And I bet most of them I'll be like, oh, that was actually pleasant. And it'll be simple things like one day I have to go sit in a sauna. No thanks.
Oh, I hate saunas. So that one I can't recommend.
Yeah.
What about karaoke? Have you ever publicly karaoke'd?
I did.
Was it with me?
I think we have. We must have.
Have we?
I did. Oh, maybe we haven't, because I did. I got super, super drunk at my mother-in-law's wedding.
Oh, that's right. I remember that story. Yes.
And then they bust out karaoke, and one of my stepsister-in-laws, I guess is what you'd call her. She was like, oh my God, we have to sing together. And I was like, do we? And then that was my first foray into karaoke. And I'm trying to think, have I ever done it since?
But you haven't been to like a karaoke bar.
No. I thought you and I did for some reason.
I mean, that would make sense.
But then I assumed we had, but looking back, I'm like, I can't place, and like, there's no memory that's filling in the blank.
What about pole dancing?
Pole dancing?
Yeah, like a pole dancing class.
Oh, I don't think I would do that.
Well,
because it's going to be me. You're going to hear I can already hear my skin on that pole. And also I'm not strong enough to hold up. Like, I have no upper body strength. It's quite shocking how little I have.
Well, same with me. I did one class once though. You'd be surprised. You wear a pants, so you don't like, so that doesn't happen.
Thank you for the sound effect, and thank you for the simple.
It's coming up on the right is
you wear a pant. I also like that a lot. But yeah. Oh yeah, the list is quite literally like just the most basic, benign things. And it's like, oh yeah, I've never done that.
Well,
like, listen, there's so many. There's of course the crazy things like a skydive and whatever. And no.
Oh, I'm not interested in that either.
No. But yeah, there's a lot that I'm like, oh, people do that all the time. I've never done that.
Well, listen, I'm going to keep expanding on this list. I feel like it's the show that I want. It's the show that I want. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Hut.
Can they sponsor it? If I do one of them, because I'm very reward based, for every one that I do, at the end I get a Pizza Hut pizza.
Okay, I'm gonna have to get
book,
on the blower.
Like an adult book club.
I love the idea that it's like it's branded content where we make these short videos, and it's like the whole point. There's so many things she refuses to do, but the one thing she'll do them for is Pizza Hut pizza. So here we are. This writes itself. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
I gotta talk to those people. I gotta get the hut on the phone. In the meantime, thank you,
Yeah.
dear listeners, for joining us on this chaotic as shit last call episode of True Crime and Cocktails. We're so appreciate your support here on Patreon. It means the world to us. It allows us to continue to make this chaotic. That's what I wanted to say.
Wow.
Chaotic content that we love so much, and we're glad that you enjoy it too. Christy, do you want to say goodnight to the people?
Good night, true whimsy.
Good night, Jabba the Hutt.
Fun fact about our last call episodes, they might not always contain true crime or a classic Christie list, but they always tend to get just slightly unhinged. Speaking of which, the true crime today included cases from Kentucky, where the 2025 movie Gunslingers was filmed. Gunslingers stars Heather Graham, Stephen Dorff, and of course, Nicolas Cage. For those keeping track at home, that's number 38. I've set my sights on 50, and I refuse to settle for anything less. Continuing on our Patreon journey is a happy hour episode that we did back in September 2024. And great news, it involves one of our favorite things, a homemade game. What has Lauren got in store for me? Check it out.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to this happy hour episode of True Crime and Cocktails, a Patreon exclusive. We're so glad that you're here. As always, I am your host, Lauren Ash, and as always, I am joined by my co-hostess with the mostess, Christy Oxborrow. How you doing?
Doing great.
Fantastic. We just finished recording the Christine Demeter episode of the podcast, and what a wild ride that was.
Yeah, it took us everywhere we didn't think we were going to go.
Yeah, both literally in the case and in the banter, because again, no one ever thought that I would get really into talking about timeline shifting. And I'm not even I want to make it clear, like, I'm not saying I believe that that's real, or that that's happening. I'm just fascinated by the concept.
Yeah, if you think that our DMs aren't going to get flooded with people worried about our mental health because you're talking about timeline shifts and I'm talking about openly crying once a week about Steve Irwin, I think I just think that they're gonna be like, "They need a break." I think they need to lie down.
Sure. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
not saying we don't need naps. I think that that's definitely true. I mean, but also, I got to say, because this literally just happened in the last break. You don't know this. I posted a video today making fun of TikTok tarot readers because it's always
Oh,
the same. And
yes.
I have so many on my feed. So I basically just did this bit. Um,
Yeah,
and by the way, I love tarot. Everybody knows that. But
of
like,
course.
I basically just did this bit saying all the things that these people always do. And then of course I give a
Right,
reading that it's like, it could be a fire sign, but also maybe an earth sign or an air sign or,
right.
right. Like
I
this,
did
it's
like
a
the Ritz cracker
thank you.
specifically.
Oh, you've seen the video.
Of
Fantastic. Again,
course.
it's a simple bit.
Yeah.
Somebody comes on and I just saw this comment in the break.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to have to unfollow for this. I love you. I freaking love Superstore and your band, but I can't get jiggy with this. I understand that you won't contact us or commune with the dead, but I can't with this. I wish you the bestest ever. Live long and prosper. To which I had to respond, it's literally a joke. Somebody else commented and said, this reading was pretty vague.
Oh.
I guess this counts for everybody. And these are the moments where I go, what's going on, society? I in the title I wrote, it says hashtag parody, hashtag comedy. And I don't know
Yeah.
what more we can do for people.
Oh, it's starting to feel like a lost cause.
Starting to.
Yeah, look, I was being kind.
Fair enough.
Again,
Fair
I
enough.
said it in the episode, I'll say it here. The hope isn't there anymore.
The hope's gone.
Yeah.
Hope feels like it's swept away. Remember that?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I have seen so many videos lately of people who are like, what it's like to have a conversation with me and someone saying something and then the other person like going into various songs. It does make me chuckle every time, but I have also seen a lot of those, "This is a reading for you" kind of
I've been
things.
getting so many of them. And listen, again, I've done collective readings here on Patreon, but here's the
Yeah.
thing. The difference to me is I think on TikTok, you're going to love that I'm going to get so earnest about this. they're manipulating people because they know that it's going to show, like, the algorithm listens and pays attention to everything we do on our phone. So if we Google
Yeah.
something, then we're suddenly going to start seeing TikTok content regarding something we Googled. And then it feels like
Right.
magic because it's like, oh my God. So when they make these tarot readings, it's preying upon people, I think, who at times have been Googling things. Perhaps they're going through a hard time
Sure.
financially, in romance, in whatever. And so then they're seeing these tarot readings that are geared towards trying to give people hope or the opposite. And it's like people feel like, oh, and in a sense, I could say, well, maybe that brings people some like hope or peace, and that's nice. But again, I just feel like it's ultimately inherently manipulative because they know if they're making the reading, it's only going to get shown to people who have already been looking for something. And I just think
Yeah.
that's inherently taking advantage potentially of people. Again, when I do them here, listen, you can listen or you can turn it off. That's up to you.
Sure.
But it's to me, it's just like it's a bit of a different. And this is listen. This is also no shade to people who do tarot readings on there because I think there's also people that do them altruistically and because they love it, and then maybe it does reach people that need some support in that moment, and that offers them hope. But it's just the amount of them that are happening that I'm like,
So
not
many.
everyone's intentions are good, and it's always the same. And the ones I've been seeing truthfully also are getting worse. I used to see some that were like really well done and people who really have an understanding that I don't have of the
Sure.
cards and their meaning and all of the above. But now it's literally, it's like I was doing. It was like, it could be an air sign, but also a water sign, but also it could be a fire sign. I'm like, you've just named all but three of the signs. Like, this is
Yeah.
not, I just, again, if people are doing it for fun or for the right reasons, wonderful. But I just feel like it's crossed over into something else. And maybe it's just
Oh,
my own algorithm. I don't know, but it's been getting. And also, by the way, here's the other bigger bottom line is like we can't take a joke. Like we can't take a joke that's not really attacking anybody.
oh,
It's
it's
just commenting that this is a thing that exists, and isn't it funny?
yeah. Look, it just feels like somebody will see somebody make some sort of content and then they go, "Oh, they got a lot of views or a lot of comments or something. I'll do
Yeah.
something similar." And then they
Yes.
do, and then somebody else goes, "Oh, they got a lot, so I'll do it." And it just started to seem at some point that people got a lot of things are just specifically doing things, for views. And look, that's wild, coming from the woman that opens toys, for videos. Um, but
The other
I
thing
just
to rem
people and I have fun doing it. The
Oh,
people like
yeah.
watching it, I like doing it, and that's just what we do. But it just feels like so many people are they're they're gonna do what they see other people doing. Like, they'll do, like, the same specific, like, bits and the same whatever, and they will do that in the hopes of, you know, getting to a point of, "You're just doing this, making a living."
Well, yeah, because on TikTok, if any video you make that's, like, over a minute, you get paid for. Like, it's not a ton of money, but, like, you'll get
Right.
money. You if As long as your video is over a minute, then you'll and you join the, like, creator, whatever it is, then you'll get money. Like,
Right.
I think I made, like, $30 once on, like on, like,
Sure.
2 videos.
Sure.
Listen, I'm spoiler alert, I'm not doing it for the cash. But anyway, my point just
Sure.
is that I just think if we can't laugh about, the best comedy is pointing out things in society that are funny, or that are, it's like, isn't it funny that people do this and that they make these things up? And I don't know. I just, again, I thought it was a funny idea, and I think that the internet is killing everything. It's killing comedy, it's
Oh,
killing
yeah.
joy, it's killing everything. I'm in a mood.
Look, I get it. We've had conversations before, both recorded and not recorded, about, somebody doing something online that's insane, getting going viral, and then just being handed so many opportunities
Yeah.
that are beyond their expertise. Like the people who make a video and they're like, "We should put them in a movie." And it's like, "But they
Uh-huh.
don't have skill and you're taking jobs away from people who do," and I can't. Um, and it's just yeah, it's hard. It's hard
Yeah.
because that world is combined with the world of people who are just like there's so much negativity
Yeah.
and it's hard. Like you could do literally anything and somebody's going to be like, "Well, I don't like that." But it's not enough to be like, "I don't like it, keep scrolling," or "Please don't show me this
Right.
again." It's, "I don't like it, and I need them to know I don't like it because I wanna wreck their day."
And that's the part of it for me, you know? I was watching
Yeah.
there's a new, documentary called Child Star, Demi Lovato,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
made, and, there was an interview with Drew Barrymore, and she said something that I thought was really interesting. Drew Barrymore was, like, being very candid, of course, about how she had a very kind of atypical childhood, in many
Course.
ways, and she said, she said, "I've done so much stuff, like, not bad as in, like, I don't think she's talking about doing crimes, but, like, extreme, I'm sure, drugs and those kinds of
Of
things," and she
course.
said, "But I did it in a time that social media didn't exist, and so it really could be kept a secret and not ruin your life." And
Yeah.
she was like, "Now, anybody who's making those kinds of choices, not great choices, but ones that are kinda, like, based on, again, they're very young, they have this tumultuous, very hard upbringing, like, there's no grace. There's no grace because everything is documented, everything is public,
Yeah.
everything is a story, everything is like there's no everyone's watching everything,
Yeah.
which is interesting, right? It's like
Yeah.
I do think I did read that Neil deGrasse Tyson post in the main episode where he was talking about how there's going to be a rip in the space-time continuum. That's not what I'm going to comment on. I do think with AI and the deep fake technology that we're so close to that's already happening, I
Yeah.
have heard somebody else talk about this, another science-based person, I can't remember who, but was talking about this concept of if suddenly our human brains truly can't determine if something is real or fake, like, it's not saying that it's, like, biased news, which is what we would call fake
Right.
news or, whatever, or what, Trump coined the phrase. But instead of it being biased news or, like, incorrect news, when it's literally like there's a deep fake Trump and there's a deep fake Kamala, and they're saying and doing things, and we truly don't know if it's the real person or the deep fake, and there's, like,
Yeah.
no way. I have heard this person talking about how our brains will start to crumble because if we truly have no sense of reality,
Oh, yeah.
right? Then it's like, where does that go? Then you can't trust anybody or anything.
Mm.
And then where does society go? So I do think, again, I promise I'm not getting back into the weird time shifting stuff, but I do think it's an interesting
Mhm.
thing to think about that it's like in our lifetimes, in the very near future, we could start to be turning into a society where we truly cannot determine what we are seeing around it, what is real and what isn't. And then again, like, where does that go? If you can't trust anything to be real.
Oh, I just I'm not surprised, but I also can't believe that this is where we're at with, like, AI stuff when it could be used for good, but this is what we do with it.
Well, and there's also like, there was a bunch of scientists that were saying, like, it was some a large amount of a possibility that it's like, oh, AI will like the end of the world will come because the robots will take over. Like they're saying that it's like there's a very high possibility that Terminator 2 or Terminator that the AI will become sentient and take over the computer system and then kill the humans.
2029.
Well, it's closer than we think. On that note, though, we got a little bleak. I'm so excited about this episode that I'm gonna
Couldn't be
just
happier.
hard pivot. I'm gonna hard pivot
Great.
now. I had an idea for a game. Then I realized I'm kind of ripping off an existing game, but I'm putting a twist on it. So,
That's how we work.
yes. So there's a game called Boulder Dash, which is one of my favorites. And originally, Boulder Dash was you would get a very obscure word that people don't typically know. And then
Sure.
you play by all of the players writing a fake definition for it. And of course, they go into a pile. Now, the reader of the card puts the real definition in. And so they read each one of them, and then people have to vote and guess which the real definition, which is ironic because I was just talking about what's reality and what's not.
Mhm.
But anyway, this game is iconic. It's been around for a long time. They then came out with a version called Beyond Boulder Dash, where there's all these different categories, where it's like a famous date,
Ooh.
and you go, what happened on that famous date? And so it's just about trying to come up with the best story. My
Sure.
favorite of the categories is movies, and they give you these little synopses of real movies, or excuse me, they give you the title of a real movie and you have to come up with a synopsis. And
That's
my
pressure.
family, like my parents and I and friend of the podcast, Leslie Seiler and her husband, like we've played this for hours and hours and hours because it's just it gets so ridiculous and so funny. So we're gonna be doing something I'm calling Balderdash by Ash. Okay.
I like
And
this.
it's a variation on this. So basically, what I have done is I've gone and I've found a series of mystery books. I believe I
Oh.
have 5, and then a series of Lifetime movies. And I am going to give young Christy Oxborrow, I'm going to give her the synopsis. And then
Okay.
she is going to have to come up with a title that she thinks that movie could or book could be called. We did a version of this on a
Oh.
happy hour once, where I would just describe reality shows and Christy would come up with her idea for what they were called. And that is how the truly golden title Peekaboo Desperado came into account. You can still get that merch over on the merch store, by the way.
I'm
It's my
wearing
favorite
those
thing.
pants right now.
It's my favorite thing you've ever said. And not that I could pick, but if I had to, I'm picking it. It fucking killed me. I think it's the funniest thing ever.
Oh god, the
Um,
pressure I
no,
currently feel right now.
no, not at all.
Oh
Now,
god.
these books, I just saw one pop up. I was
Yeah.
on Amazon for something. I just saw this title pop up and I was like, "What is that book possibly about?" That's how it started. That's how I just had the inspiration for this. So I've just chosen a variety. Again, these books are all mystery books and the Lifetime movies are all what we know to be Lifetime movies, which is a mix between just
Can't wait.
drama and crime. But anyway,
Yeah.
so number 1, and play along at home, by the way, everybody. Get out your pens and papers, come up with your own ones, share them in the comments.
Yeah. Oh, I love the idea of just starting a great news. It's a happy hour. Grab your pens and paper. I
Oh,
love
I
it.
love
I
that
love it.
too. I think people will enjoy these because I also feel like there's no end to
The
to
possibilities.
to the possibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just was looking and then I just googled um, you know, mystery books with interesting titles. And then
Oh, I
there's
like that.
so many, right? Okay. So here we go. Number 1,
Yeah.
Balderdash by Ash. With 3 kids underfoot, a fourth on the way, and an oppressive heat wave bearing down, homemaker Lucy Stone is hardly enjoying an idyllic summer. But her preoccupation with swelling ankles, Bavarian cream donut cravings, and sewing endless sequins on ballet recital tutus gives way to dread when Lucy learns that her waistline isn't the only thing that's recently vanished from Tinker's Cove. The strange disappearance of a retired dance instructor has the tiny coastal town in a tizzy that turns to terror when a notoriously cantankerous shopkeeper is slain right on Main Street. Now Lucy's up to her bulging belly and local suspects and red herrings. Eluded by a cold blooded killer, with her due date looming and the thermometer soaring, Lucy figures something has to break soon. With any luck, it won't be her water.
Just wait. Somehow I really only have one pressing question.
Of course.
Is she a detective? Or
Well,
she just they
I
never really say.
I look, to be honest, I mean, I didn't write these synopses and I haven't read the book. So I'm guessing maybe she's more of an armchair detective.
Oh, fair.
But I
Fair.
don't know. I don't know Lucy Stone's story, and
Right.
that's a shame.
It
But
is.
but yeah.
Look, again, the whole reason that Peekaboo Desperado existed was because I just had to whatever popped in.
Of course. And that's what
Whatever, just
yep.
that's whatever. So as you were reading, there were certain words that like picked up in my brain, and then once I took one of them and it was an automatic. Because you talked about her having to put sequins on tutus or whatever.
Mhm.
So I've titled this book Too Too Much.
Amazing. Here's what I love.
Oh, I should have said too much death, but no, maybe that's too
Oh,
far.
no, listen, that's also great. What I like is that you did hit on what they went for. I thought maybe you'd go with something about the pregnancy, something about the heat wave, but you did get to the place where it's going. The name of this book is
Yeah.
called Tippy Toe Murder
Tippy. Got it.
by Leslie Meyer. And listen, these that sounds like a great story. So listen, check out. I know we've got obviously over on Discord. There's a True Crew Discord. There's a book club over there. So I don't know if y'all are looking for some fun mystery novels to read, but I've got a list of 5 here that maybe you should put on your list. And the first of which is Tippy Toe Murder, aka Too Much.
The joke is, I wasn't that far off compared to
I
compared to
was
what I could
shocked.
have been.
I thought for sure you might go with the pregnancy or the heat wave or something. Anyway, listen, this is what it's our first time playing Boulder Dash by Ash. I mean, it's technically our second time, but you know what I'm saying. Number 2.
Okay,
This is a long one, but I think it's worth reading all of it.
I can't wait.
Asmodeus, Prince of Hell, just wants to make music.
I'm already turned on.
Jazz specifically.
Oh, now I'm turned off.
Unfortunately, he's a demon, and he's supposed to be evil. Clearly, for Ash, a career as a musician isn't exactly an option. Plus, he's cursed. Sick of playing by the rules, Ash and his 3 brothers escape hell in search of freedom on Earth. But it's harder than they thought to keep their enemies off their tail. The 4 rogues quickly become the underworld's most wanted, and if they're caught, the consequences will be dire. Yet, everything changes for Ash when he meets a beautiful violinist who can see through his curse. They must be too good to be true, but no matter the risk, he has to have her. Evangeline Gregory is just your average human. She works at a jazz bar, plays gigs on weekends, and apparently hallucinates demons. At least that's what Eva tells herself when moments after she meets the man of her dreams, she sees him shift into a 7-foot-tall monster. Not believing her own eyes, Eva decides to investigate and soon finds herself caught in the middle of a supernatural clusterfuck of epic proportions. But Ash isn't the only one keeping secrets, and the search for answers reveals a shocking truth that will change the course of her life forever. Or maybe just doom it. Eva and Ash will learn the path to love can be complete hell.
Hey, first of all, that last line is selling it.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing. Um, uh, I'm worried. I'm worried about, like, this one came to me quickly, but I just worry it's not right. I mean, it's not going to be right, but like immediately I was like, God, I should come up with something that it like involves like a gig or like something. I don't know. I went with going off the rails on a demon train.
Incredible. The name of this book
Yeah,
is My Funny Demon Valentine by Aurora Asher.
amazing. My
Yeah.
funny demon Valentine. All right. Ha. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
I was a
Number
little
3.
further from that one than I was on the first.
It's still a great answer. A great answer.
Hmm.
All right. Number 3. Embroidery shop owner Marcy Singer gets hung up on a tapestry that may lead to sunken treasure and be the motive for murder. When Marcy's friend Reggie, Tallulah Falls' local librarian, asks her to teach an embroidery class as therapy for domestic abuse victims, she gladly agrees. One of the women wants to flee from her abusive husband, but is afraid to leave her elderly father in law behind, and she thinks Marcy can help. The elderly gentleman shows Marcy a tapestry his grandmother made, which he believes reveals the location of pirate treasure off the Oregon coast. He'll move to a shelter, provided Marcy takes the tapestry to keep it safe. But when the police arrive the next day to escort him out, they find the old man murdered and the house ransacked. Does someone want that treasured tapestry desperately enough to kill for it?
Okay. Okay. Now, I went with one that almost sounds serious
Okay,
because that was just the first instinct. And then
of
I
course.
quickly wrote down a second one, which shows I've lost my mind. The first, hanging by a thread. And then I worried that felt like a little too serious, like like I was taking the game too seriously, which is how we live our lives.
Of course.
So then a next option, just simply threaded booty. You said pirates. I was like, well, I've got to mention booty somehow.
Uh, Listen, you're closer than you'd think.
Hey,
The title of this book is Thread on Arrival.
amazing.
It's written by Amanda Lee, and it is an embroidery mystery. I believe Amanda has a whole series of books circling around embroidery. That was one thing I noticed as I was looking through these mystery novels. People have written these whole series, which is incredible. But what I like
What a
is the
dream.
detail that Marcy's friend, who's a local librarian, was like, "Will you please teach a class for these domestic abuse victims?" One of them really wants to get away from her husband, but is afraid to leave her elderly father-in-law. Like the of a book that's like an embroidery mystery. Like you're thinking maybe I don't know something light, and it's like this is
Yeah.
pretty
No.
heavy.
Oh, the genres that exist now in books
Oh yeah.
that I'm sure have existed for a while, but like just for example, and no, I've never read it, and I don't think I will. If it's your style, by all means. There's a book about a woman that has an intimate relationship with her front door. They're inanimate object things where apparently, I don't read the genre, but apparently the whatever inanimate object the woman falls in love with, like, becomes a man before they fuck. Apparently.
You know what? There's something from everybody. There's
Yeah,
something for everybody.
yeah, and look, I've seen, like, a woman falls in love with, like, balloon animals, um, and the one about the door is called Unhinged.
Okay. Well, you're picking up what I'm putting down with this game.
Yeah. Oh, of course I am. I don't know about you, but this game has me riveted. I truly hope that you're playing along at home, and if you're not, now is a great time to go grab some paper and try it out. Because before we go any further, we're going to take a quick break. So hit the can, sharpen your pencils, and we'll be right back with more from this Taste of Patreon episode on true crime and cocktails. Welcome back to True Crime and Cocktails. When we took our brief pause, Lauren was having me guess the titles of some mystery novels. Is this game too much? Or is it like Baby Bear's porridge and it's just right? My vote is for the latter. Let's head back in for more. Yeah,
All right, number 4.
yeah.
Kat Latimer pursues a scone cold killer who iced a top chef in a local bakery. Kat has a full plate at her Aspen Hills Warm Springs resort as a group of aspiring cozy mystery authors arrives for a writer's retreat. So when baker Dee Dee Meyer stirs up trouble by filing a false complaint with the health inspector against the B&B, all because she insists Kat's best friend Shauna stole her recipes, Kat marches into the shop to confront her. But Dee Dee's about to have her own batch of trouble. Grayson Finn, a celebrity chef and, until today, one of Denver's most eligible bachelors, has been found dead in her bakery. Kat's Uncle Pete, who happens to be the chief of police, warns her not to engage in any half baked sleuthing. But as her curiosity rises, Kat's determined to discover who served the chef his just desserts before the killer takes a powder.
The
I don't understand.
level upon level
Yeah.
upon level of puns.
But what is the powder one? That's the only one I'm not getting. Before the
Oh,
killer takes a powder?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. But yeah, a
But
lot of puns. A lot of
so
puns in
many
there.
to the point I was almost uncomfortable.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
look, I'm learning the game as we go. And so I'm taking a hint
sure.
from the last one. I'm trying to go with a pun. I've just gone with dead and breakfast, like a bed and
Oh,
breakfast.
Christy Lynn. That is such a good title. Oh my
That's where I
God.
went with that. Yeah.
Oh, I love Dead and Breakfast, which, by the way, if that's not a book, you should write it because that is gold.
Look,
Um,
have I considered should I just let go of the potential thought of like writing some sort of like fantasy novel about beautiful, most likely glistening fae? Probably. But should I get into the idea of like random mysteries that may or may not involve embroidery or food puns? Yeah.
oh, I think you'd shine.
I going to be about an awkward podcaster, I'll tell you that.
Write what you know. The title of this book
Yeah.
is Sconed to Death.
Yep.
This is by Lynn Calhoun, and it is a Kat Latimer mystery.
Oh my God. So again, see, that's the dream is a series. Because
Listen,
once I fall in love
yeah,
with characters, I want to take them with me everywhere I go.
of
You know what I
course.
mean? So,
But Dead and Breakfast, I'm going to say it. I think it's a better title.
oh, I'll take that.
All right, number 5. This is the final of the books, and then we'll do
Yeah.
some Lifetime movies.
Oh, I can't wait.
Robbie Jordan's rustic country store is growing in popularity. But when a dead body appears, it turns out that Robbie's homestyle cooking attracts hungry customers and murder. While Robbie scrambles through breakfast orders for her expanding clientele at Pans and Pancakes, tempers run as high as the sticky August heat in South Lick, Indiana. Real estate developer Fiona Kloss plans to build a towering luxury resort at one of the most scenic hilltops in Brown County. And not everyone can see the sunny side of the imposing proposition, including Robbie's furious Aunt Adele, who doesn't waste a minute concocting protests and road blockades. When tensions boil over and a vocal protester is silenced forever at the resort site, Robbie ditches the griddle to catch the killer. But if slashed tires are any indication, she'll need to crack this case before her own aunt gets served something deadly next. Includes recipes for you to try.
Okay. I like that. This is very Hannah Swenson Murder She Baked.
Yeah.
Because every book which has been a lot of them have been turned into Lifetime or Hallmark movies, but every book has recipes
Yes.
in it, which is amazing. I'm not sold on my title because I was trying to come up. I so desperately wanted something that involved waffling.
Oh, sure.
I really did, and I just couldn't get there. It feels like a cop out, but I did write down cooking up justice.
Ooh, I like that.
Oh, serving up justice might have been. That's fine.
Either way.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah.
The title of this book is Strangled Eggs and Ham, with a tagline, Would you like them murdered? This book is by Maddie Day.
Would you like them
Would you like
murdered?
them murdered?
What a delight.
Oh, God.
What a delight.
Yeah. So let's switch it up. We're going to go over to some Lifetime movies. Here we go. So this is number 6. Keep the numbers going if people are playing at home. When a change of circumstances leaves Miriam unable to pay for her college tuition, she makes a surprising decision to start performing in adult films using the pseudonym Belle Knox. Miriam lies to her family and friends at school, keeping her double life a secret. But soon, rumors spread, and Miriam becomes the subject of vicious online attacks and unwanted attention. Miriam fights back. She talks to the media, saying her new line of work empowers her as a feminist. But her confident stand has unintended consequences. Miriam is shunned by her conservative family and her colleagues in the adult film world. One impulsive decision has quickly spiraled out of control, and Miriam's problems are being held against her.
Mm-hmm. Look, they can't all be gold.
They have been so far, but sure.
They can't. They can't. This is one of the dumbest things I've ever said.
I love it.
All right. You said the character's name was Belle Knox.
Yeah.
Right. So I've written down Belle Knox boots for books.
Saying that's not gold? Get out of town.
Look, I tried to make a play on Knox.
It's
Knox
golden.
Boots for books.
Belle Knox boots for books. That is incredible. Incredible.
I wrote it very small on the side because I was like, I'm not sold on it, and then I just never came up with anything else that felt right.
I'm for sure sold on it. The real title of this movie is From Straight A's to Triple X.
Mm-hmm.
Also, a killer title. All right, number 7. A neglectful mother overhears her husband on the telephone at their workplace talking with their babysitter. She discovers they are having an affair and are going to have a baby. She concocts an evil plan to win back her husband and remove the girl and baby. Two men are hired to kill the girl and hold the son hostage in order for her to play the hero and reclaim her husband. The plan hits a snag when the criminals enter the wrong apartment.
Oh. Oh, that's tough. Wanted to go with, I wanted to focus on the affair. I mean, the fact that they go into the wrong apartment, and
Hmm.
I know it's not a comedy, and what
Right?
I'm going to say is going to sound like a comedy. I think I just have to go with like a bumbling bozos.
Bumbling bozos.
Yeah,
Love it.
because
Absolutely.
I'm focusing on, yeah, I'm focusing on the fact that they went to the wrong apartment, which feels impossible.
Well, the real title of this movie is Baby Monitor Sound of Fear.
What? Baby monitor, sound of fear.
She doesn't even, I mean, I don't think she even, I guess maybe he's on the phone over the baby monitor. Again, this synopsis does not really tell us how the baby monitor comes into play.
Oh, if he goes into their child's room and hears him on the phone through the
Right.
baby monitor, I mean, that's
Maybe that's what it was.
then
Again, it
he's bumbling because that's
yeah, there's three bozos in this case.
so many.
All right, number 8.
Three
When a
bozos
pair
and a baby.
Oh,
There it is.
there it is. Number 8. When a pair of teenage boys break away from their summer camp to lose their virginity to an infamous hooker, they discover that she's since gone straight to become a rancher. After she hires them as stable boys, they learn about the real meaning of love and sex.
Oh my God. Um, I mean, obviously the obvious answer is just unstable boys.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. The real title of this movie is The Last Prostitute. Now, this next one is a very short synopsis, but by the end of it, you're going to know why I chose to include it.
Can't wait.
Number 9. After 20 years of marriage, a man starts over with his children after his wife leaves him in order to find herself. Starring Patrick Duffy, Linda Carter, and Ben Affleck. This movie was made in 1991.
Oh, we need to see it immediately.
After 20
Um,
years of marriage, a man starts over with his children after his wife leaves him in order to find herself.
I'd say Eat, Pray, Love, but that's already taken because she leaves to go find herself.
Mhm.
It's fine. Um, wait, who does Ben Affleck play?
It was 1991. I don't know.
Is he one of their children?
Must be.
Because he would be too young for him to be somebody she shacks up with, right?
I would
While
think so.
she's finding herself?
Right.
Okay. 20 years of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God. I hate when the synopsis is short enough. I haven't come up with anything. Um wow, I love that every single Ben Affleck joke is leaving my head. After 20 years of marriage.
A man starts over with his children after his wife leaves him in order to find herself.
Oh my God. Um because I'm really grasping at straws here and because it stars Ben Affleck, I really want to say Goodwill Hunting 2.
I love it. The real title of this movie is Daddy.
Ew.
Yeah.
That, like, how mm, how old are the kids? Like,
I
even
don't
then,
know.
but he's starting life over as a daddy? Like, is that
I again, these synopses are leaving a little something to be desired. You know what I mean?
I'd like them to make a sequel where he's been left again, because I just assume he'll eventually find somebody else. And this one's just called Zaddy,
Oh, that would be beautiful.
because now he's older, you know?
Yeah. All right. We got two more because I went to 11 for some reason. All
I
right.
We always
Number 10.
take it to 11.
Thank you. Number 10. A fashion reporter stumbles on a murder investigation in the nation's capital only to be thrown for a loop when her police detective former lover is assigned to the case. A fashion reporter stumbles on a murder investigation in the nation's capital only to be thrown for a loop when her police detective former lover is assigned to the case.
Ah, oh my God. Okay. I like Thrown for a Loop. God, I love that. I'm like, how can I take Thrown for a Loop and do something? Um, you said her former boyfriend? Former
Former lover.
former lover. So sorry. Okay. Okay. Um, I mean, we just assume they're going to end up together again at some point in the
I
midst
would
of all
think
this,
so.
right?
I would think so.
Um, so then my immediate instinct is Take Two, because I feel
Ooh,
like they're going to rekindle, right?
beautiful.
Yeah.
The real title of this movie is Killer Hair. What?
Wasn't even
Not
close.
even.
Yeah.
Yep. All
Wowzer.
right.
Okay. Okay. This is
Final.
it.
This is a bonus. This is number 11 that
Yep.
I threw in when I read the following sentence because I was like, I can't not include
It's
this.
just literally one sentence.
No, there's actually two synopses for this movie,
Thank
so I've
God.
included both
Okay.
of them. But this
Okay.
first sentence was the reason why I felt I had to include this in
I can't
our
wait.
first round of Balderdash by Ash.
Yeah.
Number 11. Halifax is hit with an outbreak of STDs among high school students. Among them is Hannah Vogel, and her horrified mother tries to find out why this is happening. A mother daughter relationship is thrown off balance when the mother, Marcia Gay Harden, discovers that her good girl daughter is part of a group who is engaging in sexual activities with multiple partners, activities that are resulting in an outbreak of sexually transmitted diseases. The tagline is her 14-year-old daughter's not fast, she's just keeping up. Yeah.
I'm embarrassed.
Why?
I'm embarrassed by what I'm about to say.
I can't wait.
You know I like alliteration.
Of course.
This is based solely on you said STDs or STIs,
Yeah.
and
It says
it's
STDs, but
it's
yeah.
the only place it's just immediate. Mangled muffs in the Maritimes.
Dead. I'm dead. That is incredible and absolutely a better title than the real one. It
I
should be
did have
Mangled.
mangled and Maritimes, and I was like, I need something. I'm like, what's a sex thing I could put for him? And the only thing I could think of
Oh,
was muffs.
it's so funny.
Yeah.
The real title of this movie, She's Too Young. Which, by the way, is a bit of a contradiction of the tagline, in which it says her 14-year-old daughter's not fast, she's just keeping up. Doesn't sound like she's too young, according to that
Yeah.
tagline.
Also, I'm fairly certain they've done She's Too Young.
I feel like we saw
We
She's
saw
Too
one,
Young.
but because we
Yeah.
it wasn't this though, for sure.
No. No.
Wasn't it some oh god, didn't it involve a computer? Her
I
her daughter
but then I'm wondering, is it this movie? Have we just forgotten all the details?
I
And
typed
is it
She's Too Young, 2004.
Thank you.
Uh, oh my god, Halifax is hit with an outbreak of STD. So this is what we saw.
I
I
think we
think they've changed the synopsis since then.
Well, all I know is this. We've got a new movie watch guide to stick to. I'm
Oh god, because
very invested in revisiting She's Too Young. Well, I
yeah,
mean, all of these. Daddy is a definite one. I'd really
yeah,
like to see Killer Hair because I'd like to see how that connects at all to the plot of the film.
yeah, yeah. Look, I think we just need to start making our way through these.
Yeah.
We just pick one off the top
Yep.
and then we watch it and then we force the people to hear us get into great detail
I love that.
of what these movies are about. I'm interested to see Ben Affleck in in his youth. I'm going to need to
Yeah. What year
Google
was he
to make sure
born?
it's okay. Well, it has to have been 70s, right?
I would think so. Of course, it has to be. Well, he's 52 now, 72. He was born in 72. So in 1991, he would have been 19.
That's okay. Not well. I mean, I don't love it. There it is. It took a beat to get there. Okay, first of all, that's the photo on IMDb for this movie.
Oh, wow. Very young.
Yeah, so I'm less in it for that compared to his current headshot now.
Well,
This feels like a
I
25-45.
was just going to say, I was just going to say,
And we know which one I like for Affleck. Come on.
well,
Well,
well, listen,
God, what a delight.
thank you for playing the inaugural official game of Boulder Dash by Ash.
It's
I
an
hope you all
honor.
at home enjoyed it as well, because what a romp.
How could they not? I mean, come
Yeah.
on. This is oh, I'm jazzed. This oh, mangled muffs in the Maritimes. This is
I mean,
I remember
outstanding.
nothing. I remember seeing that movie, but I don't remember there being anything about it even being in Canada. I don't remember STDs.
I
I
don't
don't remember
either.
any of that.
I remember her, and you're right. I remember something about the computer. I remember that, but it's possible that this was what the plot was because again, I just remember we kept saying she's too young. Like I remember
Yeah,
that more than I remember the plot of the movie.
that is true. It was like anything she did. We were like, oh,
Oh,
she's too
she's too
young.
young. What was the other title that we kept talking about? There was one other one,
Oh, was it one of the Neil Patrick Harris ones?
probably. God, there's nothing more fun than going back and watching some classic, like 1990s Lifetime movies.
Oh, yeah.
There's an
Where
unhinged vibe to them, you know?
oh, yes. Because it's like, how on earth were they made? I'm gonna look
Right.
up Neil Patrick Harris. Um, it's like the standards were lower to get these things made, and it's always something that I'll see that I go, "I could do that. I could make something that bad."
Of
But I
course.
wouldn't want it to be bad. You know what I mean? That would be my problem. Okay, this is gonna have to be like 90s, right? So I just need to like really scroll back in his history. Good God, this man does a lot of work. Okay, we got to the 90s. Oh my God. Legacy of Sin. I don't believe that was it. A family torn apart. Not our son.
Ooh.
Oh, Stranger in the Family. That's for sure one
Oh,
that we watched,
okay.
but I don't believe that was the title that
With all the lists you keep, you know what? I think this might be one I have to request that we keep.
oh, which or like what movies we need to watch?
Which Lifetime movies we've already seen.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be a tough one. Great news. In 1988, Neil Patrick Harris did a TV movie with Patrick Duffy. It's
They
called
were all
Too Good
getting
to Be
around.
True.
Now, have you heard about this Neil Patrick Harris, Rachel Bloom thing?
No.
So in 2018, I just saw this for the first time. In 2018, um, Neil Patrick Harris tweeted, "Who is the woman in the top hat backstage at the Tony Awards?" Gideon remarked that she says like and oh my God a lot. I'm confused. Rachel Bloom responds, "I'm a big fan of yours. We've met numerous times, and my husband, Dan Gregor, wrote for How I Met Your Mother for 5 years. Notably, he wrote the episode where your character finally meets his father." To which he responded, let me find it. "Indeed. Well said. Thanks for the reminder. How was backstage?" Really trying to backpedal out of that one, huh?
Yeah, I mean, couldn't be happier for her to go for it.
Oh, yeah. And I think she wrote about it in her book and she's told people to like, that she's fine. Like, we don't have to like condemn Neil Patrick Harris for it or anything like that. But
Oh, there are other things we could condemn him for.
100%. 100%. I guess he later tweeted, "Sincere apologies to at Rachel Does Stuff for my Tony tweet. I failed to research her before pressing send, and what I thought was a funny comment in our living room must have been far from funny to read backstage mid-show. As a performer and a parent, I should have known better." I think he was
Hmm.
getting dragged a little bit.
Hmm. Hmm.
Anyway,
I'm
that had
just
just come
like,
up. I just heard about that for the first time yesterday, so it was funny that he came up again today.
I mean, this is also the man who, for a Halloween party, had a cake made that looked like the dead body of Amy Winehouse.
Yeah, that was really weird. That was
And
really
like
weird.
shortly after
Yeah.
her death and
Yeah.
publicly posted the video, like pictures of it, he was so proud.
It's a weird choice.
Yeah.
It's a weird choice.
Yeah. I mean, he's one of my first celebrity crushes.
Of course.
Doogie Howser. I mean, I was obsessed.
Oh,
But
a classic.
I'm just over the years, I'm like, is he kind of a prick? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sure we're gonna find out most of them are and never meet your heroes and all of that kind of thing. If we learned anything from the Dave Grohl situation.
Yeah.
It is what
Well,
it is. But
we're still reeling.
oh yeah, because I just know that it somehow someone will be like, this is the woman, and we're gonna find out that she's in her early 20s or something.
Mhm. Well, there's been a lot of people talking on TikTok. I've been watching a lot of TikTok the past week, and I own that. I own that. That this feels like it's my
Sure.
main source of all information. Um,
Sure.
listen, we're all going through things. Anyway, I it's gone. It's gone. Dave Grohl. There's been a lot of people talking about how it's like he's 55 and she's 20. She was 19 at the time. That is the rumor that is going around, but it's not the only rumor that's going around. And I do, of course, get my backup when I'm like, I'm not defending him, but I'm like, let's not be spreading false information, folks. Like, we can't be assuming that that's the truth. As far as I know, as of this record, I don't believe anything has been confirmed or denied in terms of what the identity is of this woman.
Right.
Um, and by the way, again, is it worse if she's young? Sure, in a sense, of course, but it's horrible either way.
Oh yeah, I'm still absolutely pissed.
Yeah,
Um, but if she's like so young, like his children's age young, then I don't even know how to handle that. Will I still be upset if it's like, well, she's 34? Then I'll be like, oh, yeah, I'm still pissed at him, but still, I just don't feel like that's gonna be the case.
yeah,
He's made me lose so much faith that I'm like, oh yeah, it's
yeah,
it's gonna be someone so young.
yeah. it feels like it's probably not gonna be good. Um, Again, I will just remind, and I misspoke, I believe in the episode where we talked about it, I think I said he was 52. He is 55. I have confirmed that. So, there was a woman who started an Instagram account claiming to be the person,
Of
and
course.
of course, the account has since been deleted, and his people were like, this isn't the person, and I believe that. I believe that to be true.
I'm just so sick of how fast it's like something happens and how fast people are immediately making accounts being like, "Oh, that's me," or like something to try like and how fast, like media will put things up and be like, "Here's a story," because they just want to get it up so fast that they would rather later retract or apologize for something wrong than actually take the time
Well, it's fascinating
to
when you think
check it
about it,
first.
because in our lifetime,
Yeah.
we existed before the 24-hour news cycle, right? We existed where there was a time where the news was at like whatever 5 p.m. or 6 p.m.
Yeah.
and there was like an hour or half hour, I can't remember, but like, and that was it. And you had your
Yeah.
newspaper.
Yeah.
So you had the newspaper and you had whatever it was, like an hour of news or a half an hour. I think it was a
Yeah.
half an hour. It depends. I think there was like local news and national news, right? So
Yeah.
it was like maybe an
And then there
hour
was
total.
something at like 10 or 11 for anybody who
Right.
missed it
Right.
because they didn't have the chance because
Right, and isn't that a fantastic thing to think about too? They would literally, it wasn't just a replay necessarily either, it would
yeah.
potentially be new anchors regurgitating the same stories over again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was like, and listen, I'm not huge on the exact details of how it happened, but I believe it was the like CNN phenomenon. And then suddenly it was like, oh, we have a channel that's for news. Well, that means we have to fill it with news. Well, that means we have to
Oh,
constantly be
sure.
finding news. And so then then the 24 news cycle, hour news cycle it has existed, which has only been exacerbated as time has passed because of technology. And now everything's super quick and you can put it out in the palm of your hand. You can have an outlet put out a news story. And like, it's really wild to think about. And I know for any young people listening, I'm sure probably hard for you to wrap your head around, but like again, when we were kids, it was, you either read it in the newspaper or you saw it on the evening news or you didn't know about it. And
Yeah.
so it was just like they would cut things. Not everything gets reported because it's like, well, we only have so much time.
Yeah.
Now it's this thing where instead of things happen and they get reported, now stories are being sought out to be reported because they
They
have
have
to
to
fill
fill.
so much time.
Yeah.
And I think again, I think it's just, listen, I don't know why I'm in this like complete existential crisis and why everything for me right now is about like what is reality, what is it,
Mhm.
what's the future, all of these things. But I
Yeah.
do think it's an interesting concept. Like where does that go ultimately? And the idea again that rather than reporting, because let's like the history of news, I'm going to go there. The history of news would be communities, right? If we're going back like
Yeah.
hundreds of years ago, it's like communities would, it was essentially like gossip almost. It's like, hey,
Sure.
did you hear that the cave guy down the street like a boulder hit him and killed him? We should probably do something about those boulders. Yeah, you're right. Like that was how news, I'm sure, began.
I'm so sorry. Are we talking cave people hundreds of years ago?
I think I might be having a mental break. I don't know. I don't is this a time shift? Like is it
Oh,
happening? I mean, I think I was thinking of two separate thoughts at the same time is what it was. I was thinking like
yeah, of
1800s,
course.
hear ye,
Of
extra,
course. Yeah,
extra,
yeah.
read all about it. That was
Look,
the first thing I thought. But then
yes,
my brain took a leap without communicating the leap.
of course. Um, Nothing makes me happier than the thought that cavemen were gossiping about like, "Oh my god, you hear about Caveman 3? No, what'd he do?" "Well, Caveman 4 got home late from work. Where was his wife?" "Caveman 3." Like, I just the idea that
I
they
also
were
like the idea that
gossip
they would have just given each other numbers, even though there was no sense of
yeah,
language or counting at the time. Well, we don't
Yeah,
know that. I shouldn't say that. We don't know that.
we don't know that. If they were cheating back then, they would probably had math. I don't know.
Listen, I think the bottom line is this. They've
Yeah.
always been cheating.
Oh, it's exhausting
Yeah,
to think about. But
it is.
to your point of 24-hour news cycle, I think it started around JonBenet
I think it was too. I think you're right.
because it was you never really heard about it, and then they were like, "There's so much, and people want to know so much about her. Let's just keep all day." And the problem with it, I mean, there's so many, but the whole problem when it's like when there's something big going on in the moment, and like the CNN types, the amount of times that they'll just spend just going over the same thing
Yes.
again and again, and then to your point, seeking out literally anything to talk about. The amount of times that there is an article by fucking People magazine that'll be something that it's like somebody got a new car for their teenager. Weird. And it's like it's the dumbest thing where you're like, that's not news.
Yeah.
And it's just I guess I expected more from People.
Well,
And now they just seem like they're like they'll post literally anything.
the social media has now it's not only a 24-hour news cycle on the TV, it's a
Yeah.
24-hour news cycle of little snippets, tiny nuggets. Like it's not
Yeah.
even a full story. So then it's even more pressure. Instead of having to come up with like whatever 24 stories, they've got to come up with 24 stories an hour.
I love that I was trying to come up with like an example. So I'm like, go on People, just start
Yeah.
scrolling through and you'll find one of these ridiculous things. And I'm like, oh, well, man learns he's been paying neighbor's electric bill for nearly 20 years. Here's what happened. Guess what? I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's a bit of a stretch. I've been noticing the same with People lately, actually. There's some of them where I'm like, "Is this a story? What have you dug through to find this?" Like, I just have this image of like all these young social media interns like cracked out, like on Adderall, smoking cigarettes in the dark somewhere, just googling like
Yeah.
Boise news, Denver news, like just trying to
Yeah.
find anything to report.
Yes, 100%. And it's just, it'll also be like this famous person bought a coat. And
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
know.
great.
It's too
I love
much.
that I'm still scrolling for other examples, but the point is they they've really taken me for a ride. There are just so many things where it's like that's not stop calling this news
Yeah,
because it's not.
it's not. But listen, on that note, thank you so much for joining us for this happy hour episode of True Crime and Cocktails. We so appreciate your support here on Patreon. It allows us to continue to make this batshit content as well as all of the content on our main feed. So we are deeply appreciative of your support now and always. Christy, do you want to say goodnight to the people?
Good night, Bell Knox.
Good night, my funny demon Valentine.
Dear People, thank you so much for joining me for this special peek behind the Patreon curtain. I hope that you had a good time. And if this episode wasn't to your interests, that's okay. I appreciate you trying it out anyway. But if you're interested in this kind of content, you can check out patreon.com/truecrimeandcocktails to find out more. Also, just a friendly reminder, as always, your only place to get official True Crime and Cocktails merch is at truecrewmerch.com. And don't forget to head over to Spotify and give Lauren's new single FAFO some streams. It is such a beautiful thing to see her making her teenage dreams come true, and I know she appreciates your help. She also did not ask me to say this, I just felt that I should, because come on, we want to support our gal. And to quote FAFO, come on, let's go. We'll be back next week with one of our usual episodes. Speaking of which, on the next True Crime and Cocktails, Todd Colehep. What's the case about? Well, you'll have to tune in May 12th to find out. I don't think they call it tuning in the podcast world, but I've said it, and now I have to live with it. Good night, dear people. And good night, Tommy Sell.